This is my first shaving video. A bit of a homage there to Flash Boredom. As many of you already have seen, I cut myself in the last shave with a Feather Artist Club SS shavette, and I think that started a little bit of a tag video, starting with I am CDB. Good old Chris there starting it off, and MC Shaving then tagged me for my 3 worst cuts. I would guess, well, if you look at my last video, the shavette video, the Feather Artist Club SS, that was one of them definitely, and it's still probably quite visible. That was quite a painful little cut, but it wasn't the worst. The worst was the last time I used the Feather Artist Club SS shavette, and that cut me across here, and that took weeks to heal. And there is, if this had a macro lens on it, you'd be able to see the little white line that's still there to this day. That was another one of those occasions where it just dug in and bit me, but that time it really bit me quite badly. And that was probably, I was trying to work it out, I actually think that was last year, not 6 weeks ago. I think it was either last year or the beginning of this year. I'll have to go back through my videos to see if I can see it on the video. But I that one bled for a long time. And then I guess the only other time that I've bled quite a lot, I think was the first time, I mean, it was very early days in my shaving routine. You're looking 5-6 years ago. And I remember using a razor, and I think it was the Edwin Jagger DE89, the first time I used that, and I hadn't got it right at all. And I guess at that point I was probably still applying a bit too much pressure. And it wasn't just one cut. My face, certainly my neck, all around my neck, looked like somebody pouring blood through a sieve. And I had loads and loads and loads of cuts. They're all small, they're all nicks, and I didn't really feel them as I was shaving. It was only after I'd finished shaving, and then it just suddenly started to, I had a red beard, let's put it that way, and I didn't have a beard then, or a goatee. But so those are probably the only 3 occasions where I've really nicked myself. The one thing with DE shaving, and you can do it with cartridge shaving as well, you can cut yourself with cartridge shaving if you're not careful, but less so. With DE, it requires practice, and certainly shavettes and straights or cutthroat razors, they really do need practice. I was a bit foolish probably in my last video trying out probably the most aggressive blade that Feather do for that razor. But I did have 7 days of growth, so, in some respects it was paired correctly. But maybe I should have, once I'd done the first pass, I should have gone to the milder blade maybe. But the one thing that, you've got to expect with DE DE shaving is that you're going to get the odd nick. It's not a problem. Most of the time you don't even feel it. And if you use an Allen block, like I do, use an Allen block or a Stiptych. I rather ruined my Stiptych last time. I don't even know where I put it. It's still on the sink. It's still on the sink, and I'm not going to open that up. I did wash it, but it's rather pink, or it's probably quite dark by now. But so In fact, it wasn't actually in there. I'm just putting it back. I've just found it. Yeah. At the end of the day, you've got to expect a few nicks, and as long as you pair yourself up with one of these two things, you know, get your stip tip, get your alum block. That will stop the bleeding, no problem. And actually, the alum is brilliant because if you use that all over your face, it shows you where maybe your technique needs to improve. So it's the enjoyment of the shave for me. It's you know, yes, you can probably get, and I might be shot down in flames for saying this, but you can probably get with three passes with a cartridge razor, you can probably get an equally smooth and BBS shave. It's the cost of those cartridge razors that sort of gets up my nose as he scratches his nose. At the end of the day, I'm not prepared to pay that kind of money when I know I can get a far more enjoyable shave with the DE. Even a shavette or a straight razor. You know, I used to have a gold dye, and I don't know where it's gone. I've got to search for it, but I mean, I've got a funny feeling it's probably ended up in the recycling. I don't know how, but I just can't find it. I have looked for it. But yeah, so that's those are my three worst cuts, and I would say every shave, or nearly, I wouldn't say nearly all shaves, but quite a lot of the shaves that I have, I will nick myself a little bit, just a tiny little bit, and the alum will stop it bleeding straight away. But there you go, that's my three worst cuts. Now it's time to tag somebody else. Now I'm not sure whether these people have been tagged already, but Flash Boredom, seeing as I paid homage to you at the beginning of this video, I'd love to know about your three worst cuts. So I'm tagging you. The next tag would probably be Paul H Films. I'd love to see, and he may well have been tagged already. I'd be surprised if he hasn't. And Kevy Shaves. You know, so I'm sticking with the Brits for this one. So Flash Boredom, Paul H Films, and Kevy Shaves. Thanks very much for watching. Bye now.